Hey everybody. So just a quick little video about the last part of week 3's Latin, which introduces the use of propter. Cum amico means with a friend. Cum is a preposition. It governs the word amico. With what? With a friend. Amico is in the ablative case. Your rule is, in Latin, some prepositions are followed by the ablative case, some by the accusative case. So here's the deal. When you memorize prepositions, you have to memorize what case it's in. So like with nouns, you have to memorize nominative and genitive singular. You have to memorize both, right? With prepositions, you have to memorize the case that the preposition governs. So I'm going to explain what that means here. If you look on the next page with your new vocabulary, it says propter. This right here means preposition with the accusative. What that means is that propter governs the accusative. That whatever noun follows propter in a sentence, it's always going to be in the accusative. And propter happens to mean on account of, and we use it a lot in Henle. The next one is cum. Cum always governs the ablative, and it means with. So anytime you see cum, the next noun is going to be in the ablative. And a little tip on this is to remember, in the ablative case, ablative means by, with, from the noun, and there's that with. So that's ablative. So we already kind of know that. The thing that's new is we have a word for with. Post means after or behind. Think like a post-game talk with your coach or a post-game snack after the soccer game. Post means after or behind. And it governs the accusative. And in governs the ablative, meaning in or on. So something that helped me is propter and post both begin with a P, and they both govern the accusative. Cum and in then go into the ablative. And I know that cum goes in the ablative because it means with, and I just remember in is the same as cum. So I don't know. You have to kind of think these things through as to what little nuance or tip will help me to remember. But propter is always accusative, post is always accusative, cum is always ablative, in is always ablative. So to demonstrate what that means, I thought we could do a couple of the exercises. So I wrote them down over here. And just as a review, think through your declension ending. So first declension is I, So I'm going to be paying attention to this and this right? And then in the plural, I, arum, is, os, is. So os and is are what we're really going to be looking at. And then we've learned second declension masculine, which is us, e, o, o. So we'll be looking again right here. And in the plural, e, orum, is, os, is. But we also are learning that second declension can be neuter. So e, o, o. It doesn't really change in the singular, but in the plural, it is different because it's orum, is, is. So at this point, we're having to pay attention to those A's in the neuter versus the A's that are showing up in first declension, which is feminine. So we have more to pay attention to now. And I tend to, when I'm doing exercises translating, I tend to just try to write these down from memory as much as I can and then look in my grammar book to fill in what I couldn't remember. This is really foundational, being able to just write those down and know them. So we've got that. So if we look at this, in opida, we have in, which looking in our book, in governs the ablative and means in or on. So that means opido has to be ablative, and I'm looking at that ending. This word comes from opidum, opidi, which is second declension neuter, and there's that O, right? So it works. In governs the ablative, and that is an ablative ending, right? So opidum, opidi means, do you remember? I believe it means town. So we have in the town. Then we move on to the second one. They're being nice. They gave us in again, which we know governs the ablative. This time we have an A with a macron over it, Silwa. You should pretty much instantly remember that means forest. So, and it's first declension. So we're looking, and there it is in the ablative. So, in the forest. I suppose we could say on the forest, but I feel like in the forest makes more sense. And then we have cum gallo. Cum, if we look back over here, cum governs the ablative and means with. So with what? It's governing the ablative. This one's tricky. You have an O with a macron for your ending, and they introduce two words, Gallia and Gallus. Notice Gallia, Gallii, is first declension feminine, and it means Gaul, which is a country. And then Gallus Galli is a Gaul, and it's second declension masculine. Generally, when you see a country, it's going to be feminine, and a person from that country is going to be masculine. And that's going to be how you can tell if we're talking about the country or the person from the country. And then we have to look at the stem. And the stem of Gallia, Gallii, I'm going to use my space over here because we have to look at the genitive singular to figure out our stem. Gallii, if we drop that ending, our stem for the feminine, the country Gaul, is Galli. And for Gallus Galli, it's Gall I with a macron, and when I take my stem off, it's just Gall. So this is Gaul, the country. This is a Gaul, a person from Gaul. So which stem do we have up here? There's no I. So this is referring to a person from Gaul, which is second declension masculine, and there's our ablative. Okay? So with a Gaul. Kind of weird. When would we say that? I was with a Gaul. Kind of funny. Okay. Here again, they're repeating that. Cum means with, and we just said it governs the ablative. And now we know this word is Mary, and this A with a macron is definitely an ablative singular. So this one's just with Mary. Good. Okay. Then we have, it gets a little bit longer, propter gloriam Romae. Propter, looking over in our book, propter means on account of, and it governs the accusative. So it's on account of something, and there are two nouns here. Remember, it governs the accusative, so we are looking for an accusative ending. This one is and this one is I. These are all first declension, or both first declension. Which one of these is the accusative ending? Hopefully you're saying right? We should be getting used to that by now. Usually, I'm not going to say always, but usually the noun that goes with that preposition is right after it. So by now we know this is glory, and is accusative singular, so on account of the glory. And then we have this other word, Romae, which is new. And just like Gallia and Gallus, we've got Romanus, Romani, which is a Roman, in second declension. So a person from Rome is in the masculine. But the country Rome is Roma, Romae, in the first declension feminine. Okay? And again, I can use my paper. Romani for a Roman. If I drop that ending, my stem is Roman. It's kind of nice. But for Roma, Romai, my stem is Rome. Okay, so we have to look for which stem is in here. And the stem is R-O-M. So we're talking about, this time we're talking about the country of Rome. So, on account of the glory of Rome. So see, sometimes there's more pieces and parts to think about. But the key in this exercise is connecting the meaning of this preposition and what it governs, and kind of doing it over and over and over to get quick at it. One more. Post is the other new vocabulary word, and the last preposition. And this one I feel like is easy to remember because we're used to hearing that term used with like a post-game activity or something like that. That example is just stuck in my head. So post means after or behind. And what does it govern? Does anyone remember? Think about it. You can look in your book. Post governs the accusative. So our noun is going to need to have an accusative ending, and it does. We know this is victory, and it's first declension, singular, after the victory. And if this felt kind of fast, I was trying not to go too fast, but you can back it up, watch it again, or just go back and start over and do it yourself, repeating those same first ones, those same first 6, but then keep going because it gives you 40 practices at this. You might not finish this week. I wouldn't expect you to, but then next week, go back and finish it. Just doing it over and over and over will really ingrain it in your mind. So I hope this is helpful. We will practice this in class, okay? God bless you guys.